Nothing. ఒకసారి ఆడియో సెట్టింగ్స్ చూసుకుంటా. జస్ట్ మైక్. హలో. బానే ఉంది కదా. జల్లగడ్డ గారు, హలో. జల్లగడ్డ గారు,
వస్తున్నా రఘు. అమ్మారు వినపడుతుందా?
వినిపిస్తుంది.
రైట్. యా,
మీరు నేనే ఉన్నా. ఓకే. గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ చెంగలరెడ్డి గారు.
సార్ గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్. చంద్రరెడ్డి
మీ వాయిస్ వినిపించట్లేదు చెంగలరెడ్డి గారు.
గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్. ఇప్పుడు
యా ఫైన్
మాట్లాడు.
yes right wait a minute.
ఓకే.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening all the members of the Guntur branch of SIRC. A very fine good evening and welcome you all for the today's awareness program on cancer. Every time we are discussing about the subject income tax, sales tax, GST, something very routine subjects. For this I want to do a new thing, so asked Nakishore sir. Within no time he accepted. Thank you very much sir for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
Today with us Joint Commissioner of Income Tax, who is held from Guntur region, Joint Commissioner of Guntur region. Welcome you ma'am, and welcome Ranga Changareddy sir, who is the regional council member of the Guntur branch of SIRC. On our request, opening remarks by Changareddy sir, RCM of Guntur branch of SIRC. Changareddy garu, over to Changareddy garu. Hello. So now request, Changareddy sir is available?
No, sir. Changareddy sir just due to technical reasons he left. Again, he will join. Please
okay.
Continue, sir.
Yeah. Now I request Chinta Raghunandan, Nodalapat Ambanaka, President of Guntur branch of SIRC. Please introduce the today's chief guest.
Hello.
Oh, please.
Yes, చెంగలరెడ్డి గారు.
Please over to Changareddy, open remarks.
Carry on sir.
Today's chief guest, Joint Commissioner Guntur Madam Srimati Karmanchi Sandhyarani garu, the first person of the branch, C.A. Jonalgada Srinivas Rao, the treasurer Amarnath, and Sikasa chairman Raghunandan, today's resource person Dr. M.G. Nakishore garu, the eminent past chairmen and all the senior members who joined this today's virtual webinar. It's my proud privilege, and I wish you all each and every one of you a pleasant good evening. On behalf of Guntur branch, I extend warm welcome to the today's chief guest Srimati K. Sandhyarani ma'am. I deem it a great privilege to join this today's virtual webinar and part of this awareness program on cancer organized and hosted by the Guntur branch of SIRC of ICI. The Guntur branch organizing good and quality programs on different topics, which is subject related. Today we are organizing, yes, in the opening remarks, even the chairman also addressed that we are organizing today the program on health related, not the subject related. I think in India, the incidences of the cancer is increasing rapidly. Therefore, it is important to step up cancer literacy and knowledge amongst the population. The aim of today program is to create the cancer awareness amongst the population of our child accountant paternity. It is important to dispel the myth that people wrongly believe, inform them about the signs and symptoms, and the importance of screening for early detection. It is also vital to follow a healthy lifestyle, and sharing of survivor stories gives a message of hope and confidence for even the cancer patients also. Today we have chief guest Srimati K. Sandhyarani ma'am. She will give her keynote address, and the eminent resource person having rich experience in dealing with the cancer related treatment will advise us and what are the early signs and symptoms of cancer which we need to keep in mind. My compliments to the chairman and his entire team for organizing a different program on health related, particularly for the members. My thanks to the chairman for inviting and giving me this opportunity. Over to the MOC, Chinta Raghunandan. Thank you, chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Changaleddy sir. Okay, over to Treasurer Notrupati Amanath garu. Please introduce our today's chief guest, Karumanchi Sandhyarani garu. Please unmute Notrupati. You are not audible, Amanath. Amar, are you there? You are not audible here still. Hello. Oh, Amar, you are not audible. So I myself introduce Srimati Karumanchi
Hello.
Sandhyarani garu. Amar,
Hello.
what's happened here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
There is a problem with my mobile, my system.
Yeah, please.
So I logged in my mobile.
Please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Today, thank you for giving the opportunity to introduce today's chief guest, Srimati Karumanchi Sandhyarani garu. Srimati Karumanchi Sandhyarani garu has done her post-graduation in business administration at Osmania University. She has worked in various capacities in the income tax department at Hyderabad, Vijayawada, Visakhapatnam, and Chennai. She is currently serving as a joint commissioner of income tax of Guntur and Prakasam districts. She is spiritually inclined and her hobbies include reading and cooking. She is a proud mother of 2 children in their early 20s. With this brief introduction, I am handing over the session to today's chief guest, Sandhyarani garu, to other the gathering. Thank you, sir. And thank you, madam.
Respected Chairman garu, General Gadda Srinivas garu, Dr. Nagakishore garu, and respected Chengal Reddy garu, and all the chartered accountants who have joined the group today, and the members of the Tax Bar Association who are present. A very, very good evening to you all. Firstly, I that you are conducting such programs for the well-being and the welfare of all your members. It's very good to see. It's a pleasure to see that you are interested in their all-round well-being. It's not just the professional thing. So that is really nice. And yes, like they say that prevention is better than cure. So when it comes to health, especially, it is really very true. So it's always good to be aware about what we should do to see that we don't get in ourselves into unwanted situations. The normal human tendency is that unless we have a pinching situation, we do not even we don't care about it actually. Unless we have a problem that really causes us some discomfort, if it's some abnormal thing also, we will just go on with it. That's what the general human tendency is. And then many a time when we go to the doctor, that we hear the doctor saying that you should have come before, or why have you not come before, like that. So it's all so being made of, aware of what to look for actually, and what to attend immediately, definitely saves a lot of heartache at a later point of it. This is one important thing. But another important thing I feel that everybody should be aware of is that it's not like the 70s or the 80s, when even in the movies they used to show it as like cancer means it's like something that is a death declaration or something like that. It used to be it's a fatal thing, like it's like a declaration. Once it's diagnosed as cancer, it used to be in those days like it's fatal. But now with so much of study and research and all, I've seen many people overcome this problem and be survivors, like, and even lead normal lives after having taken the treatment and properly attended to it. So that is one thing people should be aware, is I feel that it's not a hopeless situation. That's the main thing. There, if there is any hopelessness anywhere, even see now today we are learning this. It's not just for us, our situation or our lives. It's for the others also. If they see hopelessness anywhere, I feel that they should be encouraged, and they should be told about how, like, there are the survival rate has increased so much compared to the previous years. So I feel that that awareness should be there, and that positivity, mainly the positivity of mind, to concentrate on this fact that yes, a lot of research has gone in, and lot of things have come up to give hope to cancer patients. And so now let us know all about that from the real expert, Nagakishore Garu, and let's all not only be, made aware ourselves. I feel like if there is something to be carried on to other people, to give them some hope, we should take it from here and give it to them. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Sandhya ma'am. You are from Guntur, no, ma'am?
I'm actually from a place near Tiruvur.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I request Chinta Raghunandan, the Sekasa chairman of Guntur branch of SIRC, to please introduce today's speaker, or my well-wisher, Nagakishore Garu. Over to Chinta Raghunandan.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, members. Today's speaker, M. Gopala Nagakishore Garu, born in 1964, and he had completed his MBBS in the year 1989 from Guntur Medical College, and he had done his MS General Surgery in the year 1994 from PGI MER, Chandigarh, India. And he also completed surgical oncology in the year 1997 from Kidwai Memorial Institute of Oncology, Bangalore, India. He had worked from 98 to 99 in GGH, Guntur. In addition to postings in medicine, surgery, OBS, and gynec, elective postings in surgical specialties include pediatric surgery, orthopedics, cardio, thoracic surgery also. For 6 months, he had a house job in pediatrics in Government General Hospital, Guntur. He had also completed his junior residency from 91 to 94 in PGI MER, Chandigarh, India, where patients are referred from all over the country. Department of Surgery at PGI MER is a large teaching department with several well-developed subspecialties. During the program, 15 months, 6 months he is in surgery, 4 months in plastic surgery, 3 months in neuro and pediatric surgery, 45 days each in orthopedics and cardiothoracic surgery. After in MCH surgical oncology, he had worked in Kidwai Memorial for 2 years. He had worked in departments like surgical oncology, gynec oncology, head and neck oncology, oral oncology, and also in departments of radiotherapy and medical oncology. During surgical oncology, he is actively involved in management of several cases of breast cancer, thyroid cancer, esophageal cancer, gastric malignancy, hepatobiliary tumors, colorectal malignancies, musculateral tumors, genitourinary malignancy, etc. He had actively assisted in surgical procedures for the above disease and done various surgical procedures with neck dissections, transhiatal esophagomatics, pancreatoduodenotomy, radical gastrectomy, hemicolumnotomy, etc. He also did radical nephrectomy, radical cyctomy, block dissections, etc. During his gynec oncology, he was part of a team to provide various diagnostic and therapeutic procedures. He actively assisted and did colposcopy, radical hysterectomies, ovarian tumors, radical vulvectomy, etc. During oral head and neck oncology, he had done various procedures like direct laryngoscopy, given speech therapy, actively assisted and did surgical procedures like neck dissections, maxillectomy, etc. He had done consultant surgical oncologist from 1999. He had worked as a consultant to various hospitals like Balaji Cancer Care Guntur, 50-bedded cancer care hospital. He is also doing diagnostic procedures from FNAC to colposcopy. He was doing oncology surgical procedures like oscopectomy, gastrectomy, anterior resection, etc. He is a visiting clinical observer in Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Care, Newark, under Dr. Blumgart, and in departments of hepatobiliary oncology and gynec oncology. He had estimation of nitrates, and thyrokinates in patients of carcinoma of obegus under the guidance of Dr. N.M. Gupta, Professor of Surgery, PGIMER, Chandigarh, India. He had also done research in management of patholoid malignancy of a review under Dr. Ashok Chennai, Professor of Head and Neck Oncology, Kidwai Memorial Institute of Oncology, Bangalore. Co-investigator in international trial of tamoxifen versus dialoxofin in carcinoma breast patients. With this, I welcome today's speaker to our Guntur branch and address the gathering. Over to you, sir. It's a privilege to have you to give a discussion or awareness program on cancer to our Guntur patients, our Guntur people. With this, we will get an idea on how to take care on day-to-day activities and detection of early stages of cancer and to take care of this. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Raghunandan. At the outset, I would like to thank Madam giving a brief on the oncology and Mr. Srinivas and the other members of auditors for giving me this opportunity. I'm not a good speaker like you people, but I will try to talk and explain regarding oncology briefly. Hope you will understand it, and if you have any queries, anything, please feel free to ask me. Okay, with these few words, I will start my topic.
So if you want to share any videos, you can share it, sir.
I'm sharing some slides with me.
Works. Thank you. Thank you.
I hope you people can.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
See, basically what's going on in the world and what's going on in our region, what's going on in India, I want to share with a few important points. I don't want to burden all of you with deep into the oncology. I hope this will be useful for you. This is my hospital, Omega Hospital. I am the first surgical oncologist of this Andhra Pradesh. So I practiced around 18 years in Guntur. I thought people are going to Hyderabad for all the cancer treatment. We want to do something to Guntur. So with this intent, along with Omega Hospital, we established a multi-modern cancer hospital with all higher end facilities like Versa HD, like PET scan and whatever, pathology, immunohistochemistry, and ultra-modern operation theater to everything. So with this intent, we started Omega Hospital.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, next my topic is cancer. You can see this is my institute, PGI Chandigarh, where I studied my MS. Cancer is not the, new latest disease. It is known from the decades, first description of cancer is seen in the papyri of ancient Egypt. The Edwin Smith papyrus is known as in 1600 BC, contains a description of cancer as well as that time itself the procedure to remove breast tumors by cauterization. Cauterization is the procedure. While the cancer in India is estimated to be 94 cases per 1 lakh population. If you take a 1 lakh population, we see 94 cases. The actual, even though this is the government data, what we say, but actual rate is much more than this, 150 to 200 cases due to deficiency in data collecting and screening. Estimated number of people with the disease is around 2.2 lakh. Can you remove that one? Around 2.25 millions every year living with the disease. That means 22 lakhs of people are having cancer in India. And new cancer patients registered is around 11 lakh. 11 lakh. Like population of Guntur. This is for in India, the statistics. The cancer-related deaths are 7.8 lakhs per year in all over India. Coming to the risk of developing cancer before the age of 75 years is in male is 9.81% and female is 9.42%. So I already told you total deaths is 7.8 lakhs, men around 4.13 lakhs, women 3.75 lakhs. People are dying because of cancer before the age of 75 years. Of this, cancers of the oral cavity, that is mouth cancers and lungs, account for over 25% of cancer deaths in males, and breast and oral cavity cancers account 25% of cancer in females. Coming to India, in approximately 50% of the cancers in women and men, we can take around five types of cancers are causing 50% of cancers. All these cancers can be prevented, screened, and detected early and can be treated at early stage. So in the men, 50% of the cancers we take lip and oral cavity cancers are the most common. After that, lung cancers. After that, stomach cancers and colorectal and esophagus cancer. Coming to women, the commonest cancer is breast cancer and cervix cancer, and the oral cavity, lung, and gastric cancer constitute 50% of the cancers in India. This is to show statistics in India. Just to show statistics, a small observation we made in oncology group. If you see in scheduled tribe population, the incidence is less compared to scheduled caste, 81%. Otherwise, backward and OCs are same. Surprisingly, because of I don't know why, there is a lot of research is going on to see whether they have a resistance to malignancy or what, some genetic benefit they are having. Coming to the estimated incidence and prevalence of cancer cases, if you see the highest prevalence of cancer is seen in Bihar, 96.5 per 1 lakh population, followed by Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu, then comes the Andhra Pradesh. Whereas new cases, if you can see, Uttar Pradesh is gaining something like they are 192.5 per 1 lakh population, their incidence is increasing. Slowly the figure, Bihar is coming down, Bihar is 101.8, whereas Uttar Pradesh is 192.5. This shows the incidence of cancer cases. The least incidence we see in the Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand regions we see, and Delhi also. Coming people ask, is that soil and water matters in cancers? Yes. If you see compared to the South India versus North India, in Mumbai, if you see, lung cancers and mouth cancers are most common in men, whereas in women, breast and cervix are common. Delhi also something like that, men mouth and lung cancers, women cervix and breast cancers are common. There is little variation. In Delhi, gallbladder cancers are more common. Mumbai is very less. Coming to South India, in men, lung cancers are more common. Chennai, if you see, take Chennai, and followed by that, not like in North India, stomach cancers are more common. Whereas women, the same breast and cervix cancers are common. Interestingly, in Kolkata, lung cancers are more common, followed by prostate and other cancers. Coming to Northeast, where we can compare the men and women, and Nagaland nasopharynx cancers are more common in men, cervix cancers are more common in women. Whereas Sikkim, highest cancer is stomach cancer and women breast cancer. You can understand in Mizoram also stomach and cervix. If you take the Andhra Pradesh pictures, we are almost similar to Chennai. Coming to the survival rates, Madam already spoke regarding survival rates. Now the people are surviving better. If you take 5-year survival rate, that means cure rate, overall cure rates in India is around 60%, whereas the United States is 89%. Even a developing country like Brazil got 87% 5-year survival rate. So we have to work hard to achieve that survival rate up to 89%. This is the way the India is lacking. We have to improve by having a more number of cancer hospital or more number of trained oncology personnel to take care of the patient, and screening programs, and these things are most important to increase the 5-year survival rates. If you take individual cancers, the best 5-year survival rate always seen in the prostate cancer and thyroid cancers. And women breast cancer having a good 5-year survival rate followed by uterus. The worst survival rates we see in the pancreas cancer and liver and lung cancers. So overall picture, 5-year survival, what we want is 80% in men and 88% in women. If you take a breast cancer per se, because the most commonest cancer in India is the breast cancer, thus in stage 0, 100% cure rates, stage 1 up to 90 to 100%, stage 2 we can achieve up to 93% cure rate, and stage 3, most important, people will despair, oh, stage 3, they won't survive. No, around 70% of the people are surviving with the breast cancer with stage 3. Even stage 4 also 20% survival rates are seen. Come back to the mortality. If you see after the old age, majority of the people are dying because of cardiovascular disease, not because of cancer. Cancer constitutes only 10% of the death. In world, highest rates of cervical, gallbladder, and oral pharynx cancers are seen in India. 25% causes unknown for cancers. There is no known cause seen, like in leukemia, pancreas cancer, eye cancer, and bone cancers. In 10% of the cancers because of lack of personal hygiene causing HPV virus infection, which causes cervical cancer, and lack of hygiene causes hepatitis C, B, and causes liver cancer. And you all know tobacco and pan masala causes around 40% of the cancers like lung and oral cancers in men. Genetic, around 4% of the people having a genetic risk, mostly breast and ovary cancer. 6% of the cancers are because of diet and poor preservation of food causes stomach cancer. And 15% of the cancers because of obesity, like breast, uterus, large intestine, etc. Then we'll go again in this aspect. 80% of the Indians consult doctors when recovery is difficult. 70% of deaths are seen in below the age of 69, whereas in US, 50% are deaths above 70 years. 70% of the cancer patients die within first year in India due to late detection. And 50% of the cancers in India is because of lifestyle factors like obesity and tobacco use. And 15% of the minors is having cancers in India, whereas in global 0.5%. And one more, excessive body weight and lack of physical activity causes 13 types of cancers. If you see the incidence, overall in India and the UK also, The oral cavity cancer's incidence is increasing in women and male. It's the most interesting aspect. I am also seeing last 20 years, I am seeing many number of tongue cancers, which I never see, probably one case or two cases. In 20 years back, I used to see one or two cases per year. Here, now I am seeing at least one case per week, tongue cancers. Oral cavity cancers are increasing lips and bones. How the cancer develops? It develops by mutation of the genes. Multiple mutations causes malignancies. How it will develop? See, there are three types of genes are seen in the causing cancer. One is called proto-oncogene. What the mechanism of proto-oncogene? If there is any injury to the body, the one cell becomes two cells becomes four cells, like it will develop. The gene responsible for this is called proto-oncogene. So once the required number of gene cells are there, then tumor suppressor genes will come into action. They say now the number of cells are sufficient, stop the dividing, it will tell tumor suppressor gene. Third type of gene is tumor repair gene. What is tumor repair gene? If there is any abnormality in proto-oncogene or tumor suppressor gene, the tumor repair gene will repair it. If any abnormality in these three types of genes, like proto-oncogene, if the gene is abnormal, like mutation happens, it divides, it doesn't listen to the tumor suppressor gene and repair gene also. Like that, if tumor suppressor gene stops acting, cells will double and divide and causing a cancer. So coming to the root causes of cofactors of cancer, you can see there are so many. Drugs can cause cancer, like some of the cancer drugs itself can causes cancer. Continuous acidity can cause cancer. Environmental toxins, and you all know smoking and alcohol can cause cancer, and stress and insomnia can cause cancer. Like that, obesity, I already told you, can cause cancer. Chronic inflammation, like patients having a bladder stone or gallbladder stone for a long time, they can have it. It can cause chronic inflammation, can cause stone. Like that, small example I'll tell you. Patient is having a small ulcer in the tongue due to teeth or something like that. If they neglect, the continuous friction can cause chronic inflammation, can cause cancer. Type 2 diabetes, pancreas, and those things, and endometrial cancer, diabetes can cause cancer. Sedentary lifestyle, weakened immunity, you all know, the main cause of cancer. Other things are poor diet, nutritional deficiencies, genetics can cause cancers. Many types of cancers can be caused by smoking alcohol. The lung cancers, oral cavity cancers, voice box cancers, food pipe cancers, urinary bladder cancers, breast and cervical, and blood cancers can be caused by smoking and alcohol. What happens is when the person takes alcohol, the lining in the oral cavity and esophagus becomes soft. When he smokes, the chemicals in the tobacco will easily absorb it into the body and they can cause cancer more easily. Tobacco has firmly established link at least 12 different kinds of cancer, like larynx, that is the voice box cancer, esophagus, food pipe cancer, pancreas, kidney, bladder, and in women, cervix cancer also increased incidence in smokers, mouth, throat cancers, lung cancers, stomach cancers, and colon, rectum, uterus cancer, and last, leukemia. Same thing. There another is commonly we see HPV virus. In HPV virus is commonly commonest cause of cervix cancer. See, in India, around 80% of cervix cancers because of HPV. That's why government advocates early vaccination, HPV vaccination, all the children above the age of 14, so that we can prevent the cervix cancer. What HPV can cause is in high risk infection, that is number 16 and 18, it will cause damage to DNA. So this can lead to cell to grow out of control, and this lead to cancer. Coming to the food, there are meat and cancer have strong is the evidence. Group 1 is the causes cancer. Processed meat like salami, bacon, sausages, hot dogs causes cancer. Group 2A food is probably causes cancer, like red meats having been given through Group 2A classification, pork, beef, and lamb. You remember, chicken and fish doesn't come under in category. You can see in this picture how the few cells, normal cell develop and they'll increase, and slowly because of the chemicals produced by the cancer cells, blood vessels grow into it, and unlimited growth of cells can cause cancer. And how could being overweight cause cancer? Fat cells make extra hormones and growth factors. Hormones and growth factors tell cells in your body to divide more often. This increases the chance of cancer cells being produced, which can cause the cells to divide uninterruptedly, causing the tumor. Overweight can cause 13 types of cancers. One, esophagus cancer like food pipe, and it is shown that in breast cancer is more common in obese patients, and pancreas cancer, kidney cancer, and bowel. Colon cancers are more seen in the obese patient, and uterine cancers. And it also can cause, obesity or overweight can cause brain cancer, that is meningioma, thyroid cancer, liver cancer, stomach and gallbladder, ovary, and myeloma. This is to show how the people how to examine the oral cavity. Most commonly, oral cavity, many of the patients will come with an ulcer which is not healing in the mouth, presence from long time, causing pain. These indicate the oral cavity cancer. Oral cavity cancers can happen in the lips, in the tongues, in the gums, in the palate. So most important, anybody is having a ulcer in there which is not healing from long time, then they have to go to the doctor and get it tested to rule out oral cavity cancer. Now comes the esophagus cancer. Esophagus is the present in between the throat and the abdomen. This is a food pipe, it is called. It is divided into 3 parts. In India, most of the tobacco-related causes and spices are causing the esophagus. Majority of the people esophagus, they will have a complaints like difficulty in swallowing. మేము ఇంతకు ముందు అన్నం బాగానే తినేవాళ్ళం అండి, ఇప్పుడు అన్నం పోవట్లేదండి, కష్టమే తినాల్సి వస్తుందండి, మంచినీళ్ళు తాగాల్సి వస్తుంది. Initially, it will be like that. They will have a difficulty in taking solid food, later liquid foods. So this will indicate they are having something wrong in esophagus, and they have to go to the nearest doctor and get a testing for whether they are having esophagus cancer or not. Now coming to the voice box cancer, it is commonly seen in smokers. They have change in voice, they have a cough, and while they are taking food, they will get aspiration, and they are having a pain in the throat which is radiating to ear. These will show that voice box cancer. You all know lung cancers, people will always having a cough and breathlessness. Somebody is having a chronic cough or somebody is having a continuous breathlessness, then they have to go to the doctor to rule out whether they're having a lung cancer or not. Coming to the other types of gastrointestinal stomach cancer, which is more common in our region. Most of the patients having a called dyspepsia. When they take food, after eating some food, they'll have a bloating sensation or vomiting sensation. Some people will have a loss of appetite, having a stomach cancer. These people have to go to the nearest doctor and get an investigation whether they're having a stomach cancer or not. Whereas the liver and gallbladder cancers always show like that loss of appetite and postprandial fullness. What we say is when you take small food also, tummy looks like full. These are the symptoms of liver, gallbladder, and pancreatic cancers. Now another commonest cancer is colon cancer in our region. Most of the colon cancers, people present with bleeding per rectum and mucus coming out of the bowel. And while going to motion, they are telling mucus comes out of the motion. If you see that colon is a lengthy structure, right side colon, left side colon. Right side colon patients always will tell the history that we'll have a constipation for a few days, and then later we have diarrhea. Again, we have constipation. These are the features of right side cancers. Whereas left side cancers, most of the time the bleeding per rectum and pain abdomen cause the colon and rectal cancer. And kidney cancer patients, problem is it is behind the pancreas and on the spine. very difficult to diagnose. Most of the time they'll come to the doctor while passing the blood in the urine. It is a symptom of bladder cancer also. So, or most of the time it will be detected while incidentally, well, they go to a doctor, something else, and they will find the tumor in the kidney. Coming to the bladder cancer, most of the bladder cancer having a stone in the bladder, which causes bleeding in the urine. And prostate cancer is the most common in the old age people. And the females, the most commonest is the tumor in the breast. Tumor in the breast, majority of the people will say we have a tumor in the breast, which is not decreasing, and there is some changes in the skin over the breast, or there is some nipple discharge, which is bloodyish. These are the indications that breast cancer can. And coming to the cervical cancer, the second most common cancer in India. Most of the women who are having a cervical cancer will complain white discharge, or whenever in between menses also they develop a bleeding. In these cases, we have to look for the cervical cancer. These people have to go to the doctor and get an investigation for cervical cancer. This is showing a picture in cervical. Coming to the this brief history of the symptoms, I want to show some of the picture. It is called PET scan. What we have, you can see the bright lesion in the right breast. Suppose the patient is having a small tumor, 1 centimeter tumor. Also, where they get investigated FNAC biopsy, not shown any cancer. PET scan will detect whether it is this bright spot. Will show it is a cancer. Yeah, like that, sometimes the patient will having a liver lesions. We don't know whether it is a cancer or not. In these patients, if you do PET scan, we can see the uptake. By the uptake, we can see this patient having a liver cancer. And sometimes subtle, very mild, like in CT scan, we can see small lesions. These are the very early stages of brain cancers. Coming to the treatment, Madam and Mr. Curie are the pioneers in starting radiotherapy. There are a lot of changes in radiotherapy. What we got in is Versa HD. See, previously there is radiation is different. Now the radiotherapy technique are different. Now with the latest type of radiotherapy techniques, we can give more radiation to the diseased tissue, preserving the normal tissue. Previously, suppose there is a cervix cancer is there, the way they used to treat, a patient used to get bladder and rectum also used to get the radiation. So, so bladder can tolerate for some extent only 5,000 centigrade. If the radiation is 6,000, bladder will have developed symptoms like bleeding per urethra, in urine bleeding is coming like that. Now with the Versa HD and this latest technique, we can give the cervix exact amount of radiation. We can increase 6,000 or 7,000 centigrade, avoiding the bladder and rectum, so that the cure rates are very high. Next concept is the next type of treatment in oncology is cancer surgery. Many of you know there is a lot of advances in cancer surgery, lot of new techniques came, and lot of new equipments came like ligature, harmonic scalpel, robotic, and those things are also cancer surgery. And now more and more of patients, we are preserving the organs. Previously, like example, like a breast cancer, we used to remove the breast totally in breast cancer surgery. Now, less than 30% of the people only we used to remove breast now. Majority of the people, while removing only tumor and lymph nodes, we can preserve the breast because of the latest advances technique like oncoplastic breast cancer surgery. Like that, in osteosarcomas, limb and soft tissue cancers, previously we used to remove the entire lower limb, like a lower leg or upper hand. Now, with the advent of new chemotherapies and limb salvage surgeries, now giving chemotherapy and artificial implants, knee implants and femoral implants and 3D implants, we are preserving the legs. Especially these osteosarcomas are seen in most common in between 20 to 30 age group of people. Most of the osteosarcomas are curable. So the patient is cured without leg is horrible. So with this latest advances like 3D printing and this thing, we are salvaging this patient, limb conserving surgeries are possible. Now another concept is chemotherapy. More and number of chemotherapy drugs are coming, and with these latest advances, more number of people are surviving. With I already told you the survival rate is in India is around 60%. We can increase the survival rates up to 80 to 90% with the use of chemotherapy, immunotherapy, surgery, and these things. And the latest latest in treatment in cancer is immunotherapy. You used to see in newspapers bullet treatment and like that. That is called immunotherapy. Around 1200 plus immunotherapy agents are being tested in clinical trial. Even some of the immunotherapy drugs are already present, like in breast cancer, HER2 positive, Herceptin is the drug. If the Herceptin is given, it is shown to improve the 15% survival rates. Like that in colon cancers and many cancers, immunotherapy we are seeing. With this, more and more number of patients are surviving. This show picture how the chemotherapy acts. So some of the mice I want to show. Electromagnetic frequency can cause cancer, like people nearer to the current poles. No, it is not shown to cause cancer. Genetically modified food not shown to cause cancer. Microwave ovens doesn't cause cancer. Drinking in plastic bottles can't cause cancer. Food additives presently not shown to cause cancer. What can cause cancer is smoking, second-hand smoke. Suppose a husband is smoking inadvertently, a wife is smoking those smoke. It is called second-hand smoke. Sunburns can cause cancer. Ultraviolet B rays can cause squamous cell carcinoma, melanoma. Drinking can cause cancer. Unsafe sex causes HPV virus infection, cause cancers. And one more, the breast cancer statistics. Most common cancer in urban India. Whereas in US, 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer. In India, 1 in 30 women are developing in metros. Whereas in rural areas, 1 in 60 are developing breast cancers. 90% plus cure rates seen in West. We have to improve the cure rates in India. Now, not 40%, up to we cured up to 60%. So, another commonest is cervical cancer. Second most common cancer in affecting women. Pap smear test will identify before developing cancer 5 years earlier also. This showing the cervical cancer pictures. Now coming to the preventable, 40% of common cancer can be prevented, like smoking, obesity, alcohol, ultraviolet radiation, physical inactivity, poor diet can cause, we can prevent 42% of cancers we can prevent. Lifestyle factors associated with reduced cancer risk are important. If you take good fiber diet, colorectal and esophagus cancers are very less. Fruits and vegetables one has to take, like they will prevent from oral cavity, esophagus, lung, stomach and colorectal. I already told physical activity decreases more, physical activity decreases colorectal, breast cancer, esophagus cancer, pancreas, liver and endometrial cancers. And lactation decreases the breast cancer risk. Calcium, taking a dairy foods and good fish and garlic reduces colorectal cancers. Selenium in food reduces lung, colorectal and prostate cancer. Folate reduces esophagus, pancreas, colorectal cancers. So coming to the preventable causes of cancer, among the factors with the biggest impact on cancer incidence in US and all over the world, 30% are because of tobacco, around 20% because of obese, overweight, 16% because of cancer pathogens, and 5% because of insufficient physical activity, 5% of cancer because of poor dietary habits, 2% of the cancer because of exposure to ultraviolet rays. So coming to the again cancer prevention, seven tips in your kitchen: eat food not too much, mostly plants. Avoid processed food, reduce added sugars, meat in moderation, find your healthy weights, limit alcohol intake. These are the, again and attacking being a healthy weight, cancer prevention recommendations: be physically active, eat diet rich in whole grains, vegetables, fruits and beans, limit consumption of fast foods, limit consumption of red and processed meat, limit consumption of sugar, limit alcohol consumption, do not use supplements for cancer prevention, for mothers breastfeeding your baby if you can. After a cancer diagnosis, follow our recommendation. Medication proven to reduce breast and colon cancers shown. Lifestyle choice, avoid quit tobacco, limit alcohol, avoid known carcinogens. Treatment for infections are most important, HIV, H. pylori. Screening test will allow removal of precancerous lesions like polyps like that. Vaccination, HPV and hepatitis B virus vaccines can reduce the cervix and liver cancer. Surgery to remove the tissues at risk like change in the mole and those things, or some tumor is there, breast, which is not getting reduced with medical management, then we can remove those tumors, and so that we can prevent the breast cancer and ovary cancer. With these few words, I would like to say thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, Nakishore sir. I request members to please feel free to ask the doctor any doubts regarding this cancer. సార్ నాది ఒక చిన్న డౌట్ సార్, మొబైల్ బాగా ఎక్కువగా రోజుకి ఒక 5-6 గంటలు వాడే వాళ్ళకి బ్రెయిన్ క్యాన్సర్ ఏమైనా వచ్చిందా?
There is one study was done.
Sir.
Officially, WHO says mobile use doesn't cause cancer. WHO, World Health Organization.
Yes.
But it is observed that mobile users develop glioblastoma multiforme, a type of brain cancer.
Okay.
More usage. So that's why people always tell you speaker something like that. Don't keep the phone nearer to the ear.
సార్ ఈ టవర్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా సార్,
It is shown that they won't cause cancer. It is
అసలు
proven.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్. ఫుడ్ హ్యాబిట్స్ లో మీరు చెప్పినట్టుగా ఫైబర్ ఉండే ఐటమ్స్ ఎక్కువ తీసుకోవాలి, వెజిటేబుల్స్ ఎక్కువ తినాలి, ఇదే చెప్తున్నారు. ఓకే. స్మోకర్స్ మీరు చెప్తారా?
See, actually smokers, tobacco usage in India is two types. One is smoke and smokeless. Smokeless is chewing tobacco or pan parak. Majority of the oral cavity cancers, 90 to 95%, whether women and men, we see because of the tobacco. So if we can avoid tobacco, we can avoid this oral cavity. This horrible cancer, oral cavity, we remove the mandible, we remove the tongue, we remove the lining. Very difficult to these people manage also. Even though they avoid of cancer, they cured of cancer, the morbidity is more.
మీరు ఇందాక చెప్పినట్టుగా హిమాచల్ ప్రదేశ్ లో చాలా తక్కువగా ఉంది సార్ రేట్.
That is the thing.
Environmental.
So that scheduled
Yes.
tribe patients and Himachal, those people are and the hilly region, probably they are less exposed to environmental pollutions, or maybe because of a healthy lifestyle, or because of most of the time they are very lean. You see, Himachalis, they're very lean, they're not obese.
Yes.
Probably that is the cause, because in Chandigarh I used to see, so suppose a patient gets appendix, he has to come down 3 hills, he has to go up 3 hills to reach a bus, and then he has to come to Chandigarh.
Okay.
So
The body exercise is there.
Body exercise.
Full body exercise. So members, please, any queries, please raise. Ma'am, thanks, ma'am. Well, still the end, you have been there, you are listening to the speaker. Any queries, please raise. Ma'am, unmute, ma'am. Unmute, ma'am.
It's enlightening, sir. Thank you very much. It's
Thank you, madam.
told us so many new things. And yes, as you said, we should all try to take your advice about a healthy lifestyle, and we should all try to
So,
maintain.
Yeah. సార్ మా చార్టెడ్ అకౌంటెంట్ కి కనీసం సజెషన్ సార్, మాకు ఎలాగా రాకుండా ఉండాలంటే మేము స్ట్రెస్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది మాకు, ఎక్సర్సైజ్ చేయం, ఫిజికల్ ఎక్సర్సైజ్ చేయం, అది ఒకసారి మీ ద్వారా చెప్తే బాగుంటుంది సార్. ఒకసారి
Physical activity, 20 minutes walking 5 days a week, or brisk exercise of 15 minutes thrice a week is enough. It is shown that 20 minutes 5 days a week, or brisk exercise like cycling or those things. 15 minutes, 20 minutes into 5 days, or severe exercise thrice a week, 15 minutes enough. It is shown to decrease cancer, because by doing exercise, a lot of antibodies are produced in the body, it seems, muscles and those things. These antibodies will go there and they'll fight cancer cells.
Okay.
Very nice, sir.
No
Sir,
queries, sir.
Only
Yeah. Certain.
20 minutes is really very less actually to give for health. I was under the impression that at least 40 minutes is needed. Now that sir has cut it down to 20 minutes, it's easier.
This is for cancer, madam, not for heart.
Okay.
For a cancer, it is shown that 20 minutes, 5 days a week is enough.
Okay.
Yeah. So with this, sir, no queries, sir. Nobody is. There doesn't have any doubts. It seems, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for being a part of this seminar program, and thank you very much, ma'am, for participating in this awareness program on cancer. Thank you all the members and viewers of this program. I'm very special thanks to our speaker and the chief guest of this today's program. Within no time, you have been accepted our invitation to be a part of this program. Thank you very much. Technical Reddy sir, regional council member also, please, thank you very much, sir. With this, we can say, call it a day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Namaste, sir.
Thank you, sir.